What's going on, Flix Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review. Here to give you guys my thoughts on VHS Beyond, which is out now as of October 4th, 2024. You can stream it now on Shudder, and I'm going to give you guys my spoiler-free reviews on this anthology film. Now, this film is the 7th in the franchise. Yes, the 7th in the franchise. So if you guys are huge fans of big franchises and you made it this far, you kind of know what you're in for, but I'm going to give you guys a rough breakdown of each segment, my thoughts, and then ultimately if you guys should check this one out or not. I remember some of my earliest horror memories being horror anthologies like a Creepshow or even Tales from the Hood in the 90s. Now, since then, we've got a slew. Once again, this is the 7th in the franchise, and the original VHS started on October 4th, 2012. So here we are 12 years later, guys. Does this format still work? We're gonna break it down, but before we get into it, make sure to hit that big thumbs up to support the channel. I do movie reviews, movie reactions, and live streams 3 times a week here on the channel. If you guys are cinephiles like me, consider subscribing today. All right, and once again, before we get into it, I think it's important to note that if you have followed the first VHS, you know that they've kind of changed over the years. To me, it feels like some films were lacking. So I'm gonna let you guys know why I like VHS, the anthology horror franchise, because horror is awesome. I mean, initially, if you guys didn't know, this was going to be primarily a horror channel, horror news, horror movie reviews, all of that. But you guys started asking me about more movies, and here we are. But horror is one of my favorite genres. I love to talk it, especially in the month of October. And once again, 12 years later, why not? Now, I didn't get to initially review the first VHS. I didn't have a channel back in 2012. It is kind of weird I'm only reviewing the 7th film. But like I said, if you've seen these films, you know what to expect. It's a cut and splice of segments just kind of slammed together with primarily a central theme. Over the years, they've gotten a little muddied. Kind of like the Saw franchise, like you'll watch them because they come out every year, but you know that some kills are going to be better than others. So let's just get directly into it, guys. Once again, no spoilers at all. I'm going to give you guys kind of a rough overview about each segment, what I liked about it, and then an overall rating. So VHS Beyond. If you look at that poster, which I'll show right here, you get a lot of galaxy and space themed stuff. And if you guys have seen the trailer, you guys know that the central focus, at least for this film, is aliens and extraterrestrial beings. And I love that. It's been such a long time since we've seen an anthology movie focus on that subject nature. I'm so glad they brought it to that theme in a VHS form. So unlike its predecessors, at least the first couple of films, we get people that discover these tapes that become the lost tapes, so to speak, the VHS tapes. In this one, we don't get that. We get thrown right into some kind of alien home abduction, paranormal. There's a lot of things going on, and it's spliced in once again with these segments, but it is shot like in a documentary form, which I thought was actually really, really cool. As someone that's seen shows like Ghost Hunters, it definitely felt like they were trying to portray something a little more serious about the subject nature. All right, so let's get into our first segment, Stork. And this one's directed by Jordan Downey, also written by Jordan Downey and Kevin Stewart. Also, if you guys weren't aware, a lot of this is found footage POV style, so you're going to get a lot of shaky cam, depending on how you guys feel about that. I mean, myself, I remember going back to watching Cloverfield, one of the very first found footage movies I've ever seen in theaters. Well, besides like a Blair Witch Project, and I almost had to leave the theater because I felt like I was gonna throw up or just faint from vertigo. So if you guys don't do well with stuff like that, some of these segments might be a little jarring to you. But we do get thrown into this police organization called Warden, and they're searching for missing infants. Yeah, someone's been stealing infants, and they feel like they have pinpointed the location. Now, once they get to this location, it is inhabited by brainless zombie demonoid creatures. So immediately, I was really sucked into it because I like shit like this. It's very Resident Evil style, especially with the body cam footage. You also got a guy on the secondary camera, which they intersplice his footage. So it really feels like a video game. This is what Doom, the movie, should have looked like. So once again, you get a lot of POV attacks. You get one of the coolest shots that I've ever seen in a found footage movie with a chainsaw. I'll just leave it at that. I was screaming at my TV screen, yes! Now, next segment, we have Dream Girl, and this one is directed by Virat Pal, also written by Virat Pal and Evan Dixon. And this one, we're taking it to Mumbai, India. Now, this is what I love about the VHS franchise. They're not afraid to go international and kind of spread their wings, sow their oats type of deal, and give other directors or at least aspiring filmmakers a chance to enter into this VHS world. And here we follow a couple of paparazzi that are about to embark on a great interview with someone who is a rising star. Her name is Tara. So they sneak these two onto set. We see she's filming a music video, and then something happens. She feels a little bit off, so she has to go back to her trailer. Now these two guys decide to go into her trailer and sneak on there, which then leads to them discovering something wild behind the scenes, especially with her. And I'll just leave it at that. This one was kind of a cool concept. It lent to a little bit of more realism with actors and the underbellies of the entertainment world. And if you guys are into gore, there is a lot of gore in this segment. This one I thought was pretty good, but the story could have been a little bit tighter. All right, now segment number 3, Live and Let Dive. I love that name, man. Now this one's directed by Justin Martinez, also written by Justin Martinez and Ben Turner. Now concept wise, I thought this was the coolest and the most interesting and probably the hardest to pull off, as in this segment, we're taking it to the high skies, guys. We are talking about a crew of skydivers encountering a UFO sighting. Now the CGI on the UFO wasn't the greatest. The CGI on the aliens when you finally see them isn't the greatest. But to me, I didn't care. The concept alone about being attacked while in midair, then freaking out midair and having to fend for your life against these creatures, which the alien design did look fantastic. But once again, the CGI was just so damn noticeable. I had fun with this one. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Now next up, segment number 4, we have fur babies. And you guys know I'm a cat dad, so I got a fur baby myself. And this one's directed and written by Christian Long and Justin Long. Yes, that Justin Long. Now immediately we're given an infomercial about this lady who takes care of dogs, or she has some kind of dog hotel, dog grooming. She takes care of pets. And we get this environmental animal type of group, kind of like a PETA, that wants to go in because they feel that she's actually abusing the animals. But once they enter her home, they find out there's more that's going on in the basement. Now, if you like things like this, and it's actually funny that Justin Long is in this because it has very barbarian type of vibes. The same movie he was in last year, which I actually really did enjoy. It's just that the execution on this one was a little silly, but I think it was meant to be. So once again, some people got a chuckle out of Barbarian. It reminds me almost a little bit more of Kevin Smith's Tusk, which also had Justin Long, if you guys have seen that one. So once again, if you guys like comedy horror, you might dig this one. And last but not least, we have Stowaway. So this one is directed by Kate Siegel and written by Mike Flanagan. So this is where we get more of the paranormal, guys. We get someone that's out in the desert after she had heard so many rumors and a lot of eyewitness accounts out in the Mojave Desert of these lights being sighted in the sky. So she decided to set up camp for about a week right under where the sightings had passed by. And who would have thunk it? She captures what was talked about from the locals. Now this one is shot extremely dark. If you guys are watching this in daylight, please close all the curtains, turn up your brightness to 100, because even though I had my TV calibrated, I could not see what the hell was going on in a lot of these shots. Also, there's a lot of film grain on this because, yeah, they're trying to make it seem like this is old footage or VHS footage, even though this is all being shot in the 21st century. I do like the initial concept. For some reason, though, along the way, it just got a little bit of dull and dreary, and once again, I couldn't see what the hell was happening. I understand some of the things that were happening once she encounters more of this entity or this spaceship. I'm not going to give too much away, guys. It was an interesting concept. It just didn't really do it for me. And finally, guys, we get our complete narrative conclusion for Abduction, which is directed and written by Jay Shield. And as I stated before, this is kind of the overarching umbrella of the whole film, where up until now we've just kind of gotten a brief history of what aliens are, or at least some of the sightings that have been depicted by people, why we think of them as the Greys, where that all came from. It's kind of cool information. Once again, it's kind of a ancient aliens vibe, and we actually get a cool cameo from Corridor Crew. So if you guys know their YouTube channel, Corridor Crew, check them out. It's really cool how they implement them in a debunking type of series, and they get their reactions on what they're being shown, at least for this last segment. And we are shown this mysterious footage that was left once again on the VHS tapes, which is cool because that's the only piece of VHS actual physical tapes that we get in this whole movie. I thought it left off on a creepy note, but I thought it was going to be a full segment itself, even though it was a full segment just spliced out through the movie. I wanted a little more from it, but it didn't leave me with the creepiest vibes, and that's the thing. Before the credits hit, you gotta hit me with some creepy shit or else I'm gonna forget it in T-minus 1 day. So overall, guys, that's VHS Beyond. So all in all, guys, I had a kind of entertaining time. I was on my phone half the time watching this movie, I'm not gonna lie. Some segments were cooler than others, so I think all that being said, I'm gonna give VHS Beyond a solid 3 out of 5, saying, yeah, if you guys Shudder, you guys are into stuff like this, especially the more paranormal, UFO, alien type of stuff, check it out. You might be impressed. All right, Flix Talkers, have you seen VHS Beyond? What did you think? Please let me know your favorite segment down in the comments below. And before you guys leave, if you want to support the channel, make sure to hit that big thumbs up and consider subscribing today for more. All right, Flix Talkers, I'll see you in the next one. I'm gone. Peace.